Let's keep this conversation going and welcome in Republican strategist, Axiom Strategies, Erin Maguire, along with senior contributor at The Federalist, Ben Weingarten. Erin, day 17, I know you are a creature of the House. You know the House and the rules, but Dems still refusing to open the government. And according to some on the Hill, tomorrow's No King protest could be what the Democrats have been holding out for in the name of political theater. But you and I both know it's either a deadline or public pressure. And right now there seems to be neither.
That's right, Mark. I don't see this ending after the weekend. There is certainly speculation that the No Kings protest was going to be what prompted Democrats to get their political theater and move forward. But you've got to remember, there are two elections coming up right now, and specifically in Virginia, where there are a lot of federal employees. The gubernatorial race, obviously, everybody's watching the attorney general race and the lieutenant governor race there. Those races are closed. And so for Democrats, they probably find it more politically advantageous to keep the government closed, to hurt federal employees here in Virginia, to try and secure the win for Abigail Spanberger than they are to actually get to work and do their job. Thank goodness President Trump is really at the helm right now, because he's using creative ways to make sure that WIC payments are still going out to children and mothers and families, and that our military is getting paid while Democrats are playing these games.
Yeah, no, great point. And we're seeing some members of the media denying the Democrats' narrative, the Republicans are responsible for the shutdown. Here's Senator Marc Kelly facing some pushback from CNBC. Take a listen.
This is pretty simple. The government does not have to be shut down. It doesn't have to be shut down. We can
Senator,
fix this here in a matter of just a couple days. This could be easily solved by sitting down at the table.
To get past 60, you need some Democrats to reopen that's what's going to have to happen, Senator. You close the government down because you want $1.5 trillion for all these different things that Schumer wants. It's obvious to everyone, although, maybe you can convince the public that it's the Republicans, but it's not.
Wow. All right, Ben, what do you make of that? He's not wrong.
No, he's absolutely right. And look, the bottom line is this. The 2024 election had consequences. Democrats don't want to deal with those legislative consequences. In that exchange, you see the senator saying we could solve this in 2 days. Well, of course they could. They could have passed a CR. They chose not to. They chose not to continue the already too high levels of spending for 5 to 7 weeks so that the Democrats and Republicans could get together and hash out some sort of compromise. Democrats don't want to compromise, even though they're in the minority. And so you have this cynical and twisted scenario where you have Democrats who are actually getting Democrat officials in the administrative state fired. So Democrats getting Democrats fired, and you have their programs being canceled or being held up. So they're hurting their own constituents. And then to the extent it is as cynical as let's keep Virginians who work in the federal government home and terrified about our policies so they can go vote for our chosen gubernatorial candidate in Virginia. My God, how cynical is that? Holding the entire country hostage, essentially, in its federal programs for Virginia, and all because ultimately they've been hijacked as a party by their radical leftist base. That is a terrible look. It's terrible on the substance. It's terrible on the merits and the politics. And I think they are rudderless right now. I think they are totally rudderless. They lack power, and they're hurting their own party and the American people as a consequence of it.
Yeah. I wouldn't put it past them, though. So, Erin, I got to turn here. Major breaking news from Thursday. President Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton, now facing 18 federal charges of mishandling classified information. But if you listen to John Bolton back when President Trump was indicted a couple of years ago, you'd hear something different. Take a listen.
I think his disdain for the importance of classification and protecting classified information is pretty clearly established. And his belief that constraints, rules, procedures didn't apply to him if he wanted to do something different is manifest throughout the original indictment. This is a pretty straightforward addition in the superseding indictment, but it does demonstrate his mindset. He thinks he can do whatever he wants.
Oof, that didn't age well.
No.
Erin?
Right back at you, John Bolton. That's exactly what's going on for him. And let's remember, John Bolton is out here now claiming that this was a partisan witch hunt, that this was political retribution against him. However, this was a grand jury indictment against him. This went in front of American people, his peers, his colleagues, the everyday Americans, a jury, and they said, yes, we believe there is cause enough here for him to be indicted. This was not made up or manufactured. They showed case and cause already. So for him to sit here and say that Donald Trump was above the law or believed he was, it seems that John Bolton was as well. And that's really unfortunate. And the biggest difference here is this was not politically motivated. No one is above the law. It is those who were in the deep state who kept getting away with using the law against Republicans who are now having to face the reality that the law works both ways.
Yeah, and whatever they accused Donald Trump of, it seems like they were doing themselves.
Yeah, Ben, just about 30 seconds. What do you make of this and what we saw yesterday with him being indicted?
The indictment is brutal and it's stunning. We're talking about basically the former national security advisor hashing out and sending to two unnamed individuals hundreds of pages worth of diary entries, which I think eventually helped form his book that he sold for $1 million or so, with sensitive and in some cases highly classified national security information. And there is quote after quote of him talking about how elected officials and senior officials in government can't play fast and loose with this information, shouldn't be disseminating it to other people. And he is hoisted on his own petard. To Mark's point, last point, Iran, or it seems Iranian agents, hacked into his emails and may have themselves been able to steal some of this information. So who has that information and to what end? There's a national security component to this as well, which is very disturbing.
He also should be charged with having an AOL account. Who has that? I mean, come on. This isn't the 90s. All right, Ben, Erin, great to see you guys. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, guys.
You too.
Thank you.